All right, welcome, focused learners, to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a seriously fascinating psychological framework that shows you exactly how to take the absolutely devastating, gut-wrenching pain of romantic rejection and transform it into an unbreakable, high-octane weapon for self-improvement. Look, if you've ever dreaded hearing the word no, or if you've been completely crushed by it in the past, this structured breakdown is literally exactly what you need to flip the script.
So let's just confront the elephant in the room right away. When you hear that no, what's your deepest fear? We almost always feel like a rejection is some kind of certificate of our worth, right? Like it means we're somehow inadequate or, I don't know, cheap. But the framework we're unpacking today immediately throws that societal myth out the window. Rejection is absolutely not a definitive judgment on your value as a human being. Not at all. It is simply a filter. But, knowing that doesn't necessarily make it hurt less. Why does it sting so badly? Well, the science actually validates your emotional pain here. It's not just in your head. Actually, scratch that, it literally is in your head. Functional MRI scans reveal a truly mind-blowing fact. To the human brain, getting rejected and getting physically slapped trigger the exact same pain centers. This goes all the way back to our ancient evolutionary history. Back then, being exiled from your tribe literally meant certain death. So when you feel that very real physical ache from a no, your biology is just reacting to an ancient survival mechanism.
Okay, so here is our game plan for today. We're going to cover the real reason for rejection, the car showroom theory, building the Teflon mindset, executing a psychological counterattack, and finally, the master stroke of bouncing back. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The real reason for rejection. Let's look at the actual anatomy of that pain. If you had to list out 100 reasons why someone might say no to you, this framework argues that 99 of them have absolutely nothing to do with your personal flaws. The vast majority of the time, it is entirely about the other person. We're talking about their own bad mood, their stress at work, maybe some past relationship trauma they haven't dealt with, or honestly just a simple vibe mismatch. A tiny, tiny fraction of that no is actually about you.
Moving on to Section 2, the car showroom theory. This really breaks down the logic of no.
Imagine you walk into a vehicle dealership. Now, imagine you are a premium, high-speed, top-of-the-line sports bike. But the customer walking through the door right now desperately needs a practical family car. If they don't buy you, does it mean the sports bike is junk? Absolutely not. You're just not what they need in this specific moment. Rejection works the exact same way. It's just a simple mismatch of timing and current choices. It is definitely not a measure of your inadequacy. All right, Section 3, the Teflon mindset. Let's talk about building your armor.
You know that non-stick frying pan in your kitchen? The one coated in Teflon where literally nothing sticks to it. The framework defines this crucial Teflon mindset as reaching that exact same state, but psychologically. It's a state of complete emotional indifference. Negative emotions and rejection should just slide right off you without leaving a single mark. Maintaining this level of complete emotional control proves to the other person that you aren't desperate, and more importantly, that you have plenty of other options.
So, what does this actually look like in the real world? The action plan here is super specific. First off, absolutely no arguing or demanding explanations. Just don't do it. Second, keep your shoulders entirely relaxed and give a genuine, easy smile. Third, make a cool, unbothered exit. Just say something like, "That's cool, have a great day." Think about it. If a buddy was just too busy to catch a movie this weekend, you wouldn't scream and cry, right? You'd just say no problem. You've got to treat romantic rejection with that exact same casual indifference.
Which brings us to Section 4, the psychological counterattack. This is where the reversal happens.
Here is where your non-reaction completely flips the script. Let's trace the timeline. Step 1, the rejection happens. Step 2, you give zero, and I mean zero, emotional reaction. Now, Step 3, because human psychology is wired to expect a rejected person to act super hurt or to beg, their expected ego boost just shatters. It evaporates, which leads to Step 4. Confusion and major FOMO, the fear of missing out, take over their brain. They immediately start wondering, wait, why doesn't he care? What did I just miss out on?
The source material uses this brilliant analogy that I just love, the unbothered telecaller effect. We've all had it happen.
A credit card rep pitches you an offer and you say no. If they beg, you're just annoyed, right? But what if they cheerfully say, no problem at all, you just missed a premium offer, have an absolutely great day, and hang up immediately? You instantly sit there wondering if you actually did miss out on something amazing. Your unbothered reaction to a romantic rejection is designed to create that exact same lingering loop of confusion and regret.
And to really amplify that FOMO, you have to follow the post-rejection rules. It's called giving them the gift of missing you. The rules are strict. Give them total, absolute space. Send 0 messages. Stop viewing their stories on social media. And if you see them around mutual friends, act completely casual and totally normal. By demonstrating that you are entirely unbothered and emotionally independent, you ironically force the other person to really feel your absence.
Finally, Section 5, the master stroke of bouncing back, the Phoenix Protocol. This is all about the transmutation of energy. You are actively taking those incredibly powerful negative emotions, the anger, the sadness, the frustration, and converting them into high-octane rocket fuel for your own self-improvement. The core philosophy here is simple but profound. Emotional pain should never ever be wasted on sadness. It is way too valuable for that. Instead, it has to be invested directly into your own personal growth.
You've basically got 2 choices here. Path A is the destructive route. It's the tragic, heartbroken movie trope, posting the sad statuses, creating exhausting emotional drama, or low-key stalking. Then you have Path B, the constructive upgrades. This means hitting the gym, leveling up your career, and aggressively expanding your network. The framework makes it perfectly clear. Absolute silence combined with massive personal elevation is the ultimate, undeniable revenge.
You've seen those brutal rejections on Shark Tank, right? The framework beautifully compares your situation to a startup founder hearing a no from the sharks. The truly great founders don't stand there crying in the studio. No way. They use that exact no as pure motivation to go out and build a billion-dollar unicorn company, ultimately leaving those very judges crying in regret. In this scenario, you are that startup, and this rejection, it's just your early motivation.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Rejection is simply an eraser fixing a mistake on life's canvas. It literally saves you from a bad investment. A high-value person doesn't fight the no. They respect it, they learn from it, and they treat it as nature's brilliant, incredibly effective way of protecting them from a mismatched situation.
Which brings us to a pretty provocative question for you to chew on. Are you ready to use your very next rejection to completely level up your life? Take a second to reflect on how you've reacted to hearing a no in the past. The framework we explored today challenges you to start building that Teflon mindset today. Flip the psychological script and use your own bounce-back stories to become utterly unstoppable. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I will see you next time.